Today is the day we find out what happened to the Quadzilla Banshee. If you guys have not watched the previous videos on this thing, this is a Banshee frame with a Suzuki LT500 Quadzilla engine in it, and I picked this thing up for $37.50 about a week ago. And last video we finally got it all ready to ride, and we took it for the first ride, and it ended up blowing up within the first 10 minutes of riding it. So something went drastically wrong. A lot of people in the comments said it was sounding lean, and I agree, it did sound a little bit lean, but I figured since the guy had it tuned by a shop, they kind of knew what they were doing, but I guess they did not know. The only thing I saw that was a potential problem was the line right here was super close to the pipe, and a couple people in the comments said that maybe the gas was boiling going into the carburetor, and that's why it was running lean. I am not 100% sure what caused the problem, so we're going to find that out today. And we looked at the spark plug last video as well, and that was nice and chocolatey brown. Again, people in the comments said that the spark plug was probably not from just running it that 10 minutes. So we don't really know if it was running correctly. We're gonna have to dig into the carburetor, look at the jets in there, and determine what jet is the best to use with the pipe. And I think it's got a high compression piston in there as well. We'll check that out today, but apparently the whole thing was rebuilt, new crank, new gears in there, new piston. I think there's some new reeds in here as well. So we'll see if all that stuff is true when we tear it down today and diagnose the problem. But really, the problem with it right now is that it has zero compression. You can see it easily pushes down. Usually it would get stopped like right there, and then would have tons and tons of compression all the way down, but it does not. It literally has zero compression. I'm thinking either the piston has a hole in it, or there's a huge gouge in the cylinder somewhere, or the rings got welded to the piston and they're not expanding anymore, causing really low compression. One of those things happened. It's a two-stroke, so there's no valves or anything like that to worry about, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Anyway, let's get into it and start the video. Should be a good one. All right, I guess we'll start by just taking off all the plastics, the seat, all that fun stuff. Then we'll get down to the engine and start tearing into that. Make sure we go through everything that could possibly cause it to overheat. And as you see, still topped off in there. There's definitely cooling in there, so that wasn't escaping somewhere. Get the rest of these plastics off of here. So having the line burnt like that in that one spot, like I showed you guys before, that kind of tells me that the guy never rode it after it was tuned, because it looks like the shop that tuned it up probably put these new lines on it, and they routed the line right next to the pipe, which it ended up burning it in that one spot right there. So you can see the burnt spot on the line right there. And that line would have been burnt through if it was ridden enough. So I'm guessing the people didn't really ride it too much after it was tuned up. So it could potentially be a carburetor issue. Right now we've got the gas tank off. we've got access to the top of the engine here. I'm trying to look over and see if we've got any coolant leaking out. Maybe we blew a head gasket, but it doesn't look like anything's leaking out on the sides or anything like that. Take that off there. Not seeing any leaks at all on this thing. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much. So we'll get this bracket off right here, and we'll drain the coolant and then take off the head. Alright, I think the coolant drain is right here. 10mm bolt. So let's see what happens if we take that out. Hopefully that's the one. Don't mess anything up here. That was the one. I kind of like that better in that position because it goes straight down, unlike other quads that have it right on the side of it and it shoots out this way. It's kind of nice. It's gonna come shooting out right now. I'm gonna open this. Alright, let's see if any coolant comes out of the top here. Nothing at the top. Take the spark plug out right away. You can probably see the damage looking down here. There's a Alright, here we go. Here's the fun part. We'll get the head off next. Alright, let's see here. Oh. Head looks amazing. There's the head. Gasket doesn't look like it was wrecked or anything. Ooh, I see a scratch. Let's see. Dang, that kind of sucks. I'll show you guys the cylinder here. That's what the cylinder looks like. You can see sidewall right here. Looks like that got hot. Sidewall over there got hot. Piston looks like it's fine on the top. And the arrow's pointing in the correct direction, so that wasn't installed wrong. But looks like it might have just gotten hot and scored the sides of the cylinder here. So that's not too good. I was hoping that the cylinder was going to be okay. But we'll check the damage and see what that looks like. but so far it looks like it got pretty hot in there. We'll see what the piston looks like too once we get that out, but we gotta get the cylinder off, the carburetor off, and the pipe off next. Alright, that was kind of a bear to get off, but we got the pipe off, and the silencer, all that good stuff. So let's work on getting the cylinder off of here. Let's see what's underneath here. Alright, so we gotta disconnect the power valve there. That feels really loose, but go. Alright, let's see if the cylinder can come off now. A couple taps. If I can. Might have to take the reeds off of here. Ooh, piston looks a little rough there. Holy cow. Ooh, look at the rings. Yep, the rings are stuck to the piston there. Man, that's a big gouge right there. Ooh, looks like it took some metal with it there. Yikes. Look at the other side here. Oh man, thing just got hot, didn't it? Hard to see, but let's see if we can go from the top. Rings are stuck. There's no holes in it, in the piston anywhere. Look at this side, got really hot. Big chunk out of it. Yeah, the rings are shot as well. So it's, I mean, it's not horrible, but definitely bad enough to make zero compression because those rings aren't expanding at all. So you can see the whole side of the piston. Rings are jammed up. Let's see what the rod feels like. Holy. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. Look how much play is in this. I feel like that's too much play, but that might be correct with the 500. Not too sure, but that seems like a lot. That's like a ton. Never seen that much play before in a rod. There's no up and down play though. Here's the cylinder. You can see right there, got it. Which I predicted that would happen. Right there, it got it pretty bad. Right there, it got it on that side. Right over there. And then you can see where it's shiny metal is where it scratched up. That can be honed right there, but that cannot be right there. That's my fingernail can get that. So I think we're gonna have to bore this guy out. We'll have to get a piston for it and then bore it out to the size of the piston. But yeah, that kind of sucks. Alright, so I think the play in the rod right there, that's pretty normal. As long as there's no up and down play, I think we're fine for the crank. One thing I do want to check on this engine is the play in the flywheel. These Quadzillas are pretty known to have problems with the main bearings, getting really loose and wearing those pockets out for the bearings to sit in. So a lot of people put brass casings around the bearings and do that. Rip this gasket. There we go. Oh, crap. Okay. It doesn't have any play in it. So it feels pretty good. Feels pretty solid. Absolutely zero wiggle in there. So that tells me that those bearings are most likely good in there still, the main bearings. All right, taking a look again at the cylinder, it does look like it was ported. You can see the surfaces are really smooth in there. Yeah, it looks like the reeds have been ported as well. Look down there. I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but pretty smooth. So we'll take apart the reeds as well, take a look at those. And then the power valves. That's working. That's not stuck or anything. And then let's just take a closer look at the piston. So this is the damage to the piston. You can see big scratch. Got the rings as well in there. The side of the piston right here. The rings are just welded to it now. And then, let's see, here is the other side of the piston. Got crunch, the other side. Basically all the way around, it looks like it got hit. Right, we got the carburetor off here. Let's see what jets we got going on. Eyes in there. Kind of weird. The only thing that I can see on this carburetor that was, oh, there's more gas coming out, that was wrong with it was this line. You can see was pinched. So I'm not sure if that was causing problems. That's one of the breather hoses right here. That connects to the side. There's definitely gas in there. Lots of gas was in there. It's clean. Very clean. So that looks good. Huh. Looks like the float height was really, really low. You can see how far that thing was pushed down. Let's see what the main jet is. Right, the main jet is a 178. That seems small to me, but maybe not. We'll have to look at the specs. 178 for the main. Pilot. Looks like a 48 for the pilot. The float here. And the needle. Tab is bent pretty far. Air screw is about 1.5. So I looked at some forums and a couple people are running the 39mm Keaton racing carburetors, kind of like this. And we're in the ballpark, I think, for the main jet is 178. Some guys run like 180. It just seems like the pilot is very, very small. I think stock is 60 for these. So we're running a 48, and a lot of people say that theirs runs rich at 55, but to not go below 55 because it leans it out too much. So right now we're at 48, and I think that's a little bit too lean for the pilot. And that could be why it sounded lean at idle. Then we're 1.5 with the air screw, which is fine. We're gonna check the needle out and see where that's at, but right now I'm thinking that this is a little bit too small. Leave a comment down below what you guys think. Obviously this is my first Quadzilla I've dug into, so I'm not really sure what the jetting's supposed to be, especially with a ported cylinder, and I'm not sure if that's the stock head or not. I think that's the stock head, but it has a different piston in it as well. I'm gonna quick measure the bore here and just see what the bore is for the cylinder. I'm guessing it's a big bore, but I'm not 100% sure, so we'll quick measure this. Or like 86.85, 87.37. So like 87 we're at, basically. You can go all the way around with 87. Looking at the top of the piston, there's a number right here, and this will tell us the bore. So if you look at it, we can read it. It's hard to read, but it is 561M08750. So it's an 87.5 millimeter piston, and that means it's an 87.5 millimeter bore. So the stock bore is 86, so it's 1.5 millimeters over bore is what it is. All right, let's take a look at the needle position here. Needle clip position. See what that was at. Ooh, that was in the top ring. That lowers the needle further down, making it leaner. So that was pretty lean, mid-range. So that could be the cause of it as well. pretty lean there. Alright, I just ran a hone through it just for fun. That kind of shows you where the exact damage is. So right there, a couple lines right there, and a line right there. So definitely needs to be at least another 0.5 millimeter overbore there. So that'll make us go up to an 88 millimeter. So hopefully that'll take care of it. Hopefully we don't have to go up to 88.5. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be getting the cylinder bored over, a new piston, probably 88 millimeters, some new jets for the carburetor, a top end gasket kit, and then we'll slap it back together, and hopefully we won't have any other issues. I'm definitely going to be draining that gas. I'm not running 110 octane in there because that's just a regular piston, I believe. I don't think that's a high compression piston. So we're just going to be running premium and then mix it 40-to-1, and this thing should be golden. I'm not really sure why it blew up, but I'm pretty sure it was either the line right here burning and boiling that gas before it got to the carburetor, causing a lean condition, or the pilot being too lean and the needle position being too lean. So anyway, the damage wasn't too bad. At least the crank is good. At least the bearings on the crank are good. It sucks, but it's not the end of the world. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave comments down below what you guys think of this thing and if I should check anything else out. I read all the comments, so make sure you leave a comment and give your 2 cents on the situation. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video when we get this thing rebuilt. And until next time, we are out.